Hi, everybody. This is MoveEasy Yoga with Via. It's December 26th, 2020. If you celebrate Christmas, I hope you had a good one. Today, we're going to do a practice that is almost all therapy balls, which is a form of myofascial release. You'll see we're going to do the intro, the ordinary beginning, but then everything else will be therapy balls. It should feel good. Just go ahead and lie down on your back, supine, breathing in and breathing out, watching your breath. Noticing the breath.
Yes.
If you can mute yourself before you start, that would be good. Spend a few minutes thinking about your pituitary gland, which is just behind your eye sockets and down a little bit. It's a very quiet place to spend time. Bring your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers or stack your hands, one on top of the other. Without moving anything but your eyeballs, move your eyeballs to the right, eyes open or closed, and wait for an involuntary sigh, swallow, yawn, or gulp. And then come back to center and take the eyeballs only, move them to the left, and wait for an involuntary yawn, sigh, swallow, or gulp. Come back to center and do this 2 more times, right, left, without my cues. Finish up. Keep your hands where they are. And moving on to head ramping, just pressing the base of the skull, the occipital ridge, into your hands, into the mat, into the floor. The back of the skull slides away from the shoulders. Your chin drops a little because your occipital ridge has slid up along the mat. Do 2 more. And then just into the breathing, the breathwork segments. This time, if you want to, optional, you can put a strap around your chest and make your any breathing practice could become a resistance breathing practice. We're going to practice Viloma breath. So Viloma breath, you divide your inhale into 3 parts. The first inhale, you fill the first 1/3 of the lungs and pause, and then go ahead and second third of the lungs, still inhaling, and then a final inhale, filling all of the rest of the lungs. And then exhale normally. As you advance in this, you could actually divide your exhale. But keep going. Viloma breathing, very powerful breath. One more breath. And stay in this shape. We're going to do a hypopressive, just the basic one, the one where you bring your arms over your chest. So remember that the heels are on the floor, but the toes are pointed towards the ceiling. Flip your hands, hug a tree, flip your hands, press your palms into the ceiling and your scapula into the floor. We're going to do 3 breaths. I'll cue them, and then hold your breath out, no breath. You should feel a scoop, a big scoop in the belly at that time. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale all the way out. No breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Just release, inhale and exhale. You can bring your arms down by your side. We're going to do it again. We're going to do it 2 more times. We're going to do it the 3rd time because I know that I have urinary incontinence, and I think there's one other person at least in the room, maybe more, that do, and this is going to help. And if you have that issue or prolapsed organs or a weak core, this practice is helpful. That's why I always do it in a class. Take your arms up again, flip your hands, activate your hands and your scapula. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Last one, inhale, exhale all the way out. Hold your breath out, no breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's it. Just bring your arms down beside your hips to just rest for just a split second. Then bring your arms back to the same shape. We'll do it a third time for good measure. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. This is the last exhale. Make it a good one. Hold your breath out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we're going to do the neck and jaw series. We did it last week, but this is an all therapy ball class, and I think it's really nice to do this series again. So you need a ball, a set of balls, a pair of balls, therapy balls, in a tote, horizontal, and you may want to put a brick under your head. And you're going to lie on your back, supine, for the first part of the neck and jaw series. So the ball is on the brick. Your head is on, your occipital ridge is on the ball. The ball is horizontal. Lying on your back. P.S. We're going to need a sponge ball a little later, so I forgot to tell people that. So at some point you can get a sponge ball, but not right now. Let's do this series. Now, Kathy doesn't use a brick. I usually use a brick. Most people do use a brick, but it really depends on comfort and whether you can control the ball if you don't have a brick between you and the ball. Just nod your head, chin up, chin down, 9 times. Take it easy. Just think of what's happening here. The cervical spine. The ball is releasing the muscles and the ligaments around the cervical spine. This almost looks like a head ramping with balls, with therapy balls. When you're finished with 9, just stop, come to still, and then a side to side movement. And come back, finish that, and make a small figure 8 or infinity sign. It's the same idea, just starting in one direction 9 times. If this is hard on you, I've known some students to sit up and do this with at least some of these moves seated, just with the ball in your hand. Make sure you go both directions. One will probably feel easier than the other. And then stop that and look to the right. Actually, your neck will be, the cervical spine will be on the right ball only, the front ball only. Look to the right and then nod. Chin up, chin down, 9 times. And a small side to side. It's not going to come all the way back to the center. Just stay looking to the right and a small back and forth. And then go ahead and look left and do the same thing, nodding for 9, and then side to side. Yes for 9, no for 9. Come back to center. That's the end of the supine series. Now, supine part of the neck and jaw series. Now you're going to lie on your side with a brick and place the ball, one ball, move to one ball on your side, put the ball on the brick and place the ball behind your earlobe. So now you're looking to the side, you're lying to the side, and you're nodding on the ball that is behind the earlobe. And side to side 9 times. This might be an area that's very sensitive to you. When I first started doing this, very sensitive. But all of this whole series is going to help release the neck and the shoulders. It's a really, really lovely therapeutic practice. Stay on this side, move the ball to the cheekbone. There's a little indent at your cheek. Find it, actually find the most comfortable place for the ball to be, and then just start to nod, chin up, chin down, over the ball 9 times. And then 9 times side to side. If you come into pain with therapy balls, just know that therapy balls do not create pain, they find it. But don't stay in extreme pain. You could go to another neighborhood. The last thing you do here at the jaw is open and close your mouth 9 times over the ball. The last location on the side lying neck and jaw is the temple. Move your ball to the side of your eye. There's several places. Just find a place that feels like the right place for you. So a lot of work here is intuitive and listening to the body. Find that place, nod 9 times. And then side to side 9 times. And when you're finished, just flip your entire body to the other end of the mat. And we'll do this, these last 3 locations on the other side. So it's starting with the ball. This is the rest of side lying. Starting on the ball, with the ball behind your earlobe. And then nodding up and down. And side to side. And when you're finished, bring the ball to your cheekbone, to the middle of the cheekbone somewhere, and start to nod, chin up, chin down. Yes, yes, yes to therapy balls. Yes to the end of 2020. Yes to the new year. And then side to side. No more tension. No to tension. The last thing you're going to do here is open and close your jaw 9 times. And then the last location is at the temple. Just place your ball beside your eye, outside of your eye, of course. Find the place. We hold tension here. This is where we get tension headaches. And just nod, chin up, chin down. The first time I introduced Kathy to MoveEasy Yoga, she had some migraines and I was showing her the therapy balls. Do you remember this, Kathy? It must have been 6 years ago. Showing her how to use therapy balls on maybe this whole series. I might have shown her this whole series actually.
And you know, I haven't had one since.
No, I didn't know that. That's impressive. And then side to side. I have another friend who has migraines, bad migraines. I've told her what I would do. I've told her about Rosenberg in the vagus nerve book that I like has a protocol for migraines, but she doesn't. She's not drawn to it, I guess. That's what people have to be somehow invisibly drawn to this, to a practice, any habit. Okay, that's the end of the series. And we're going to stay here. You're going to find a sponge ball. If you have a sponge ball and you're going to put it in your middle upper back between your, you still might need a brick to put your head on or some washcloths because otherwise you might hyperextend your cervical spine. You don't want to do that. You don't want to go back too far. You don't want to jut your chin up too high. So the brick is going to be there just in case, but put the ball in the middle of the back between your shoulder blades. This is a chest opener. We're going to spend some time here. This is, let me find this. So, and then, so you're creating a back bend. Find the place that works for you. This is a back bend and a chest opener. We're going to stay here for 2 minutes, 2 more minutes. Just breathing, opening. I'm going to try to come down too. I'm going to be on the floor, so you won't see me on the screen if you're, well, you shouldn't be looking anyway. So I thought, well, this was one I can do. Okay. Just stay here and breathe. And you can bring your arms out in a T. You can bring your arms out by your hips. You could bring your arms into a cactus pose. And if you can get your hands down, you know, if you can have a bend at the elbow and get your hands down on the floor. If you can't, keep your arms out at a T or by your hips. Just do what feels really good. Hopefully, this should be a wonderful, relaxing pose for you. And as you stay here, find your breath and expand your breath. So make your exhales and your inhales a little bigger because you can, because of this shape that you've taken over the ball, the sponge ball. You don't have a sponge bowl, just roll up a towel. Something that can lift your chest from the back. So that's a static opening over the ball. And before the timer is going to run out, but don't leave without rolling a little bit to the side and a little bit up and down, just noticing that you can also have your ball work for you in a dynamic way as you roll up and down. Maybe use your heels, lift your hips a little and roll back up and down, and then side to side. Should feel good. Just and finish that. And then bring your therapy balls on, let's see, underneath your hips, as low as you can get them towards your, as low as you can get it towards your tailbone, but not on your tailbone. Both balls horizontal, both balls in a tote, horizontal. We're going to release the internal obturator, which is this little muscle that goes between the lower back and the pelvis. And the way you're going to do that is placement of the ball where I described, and then lift your knees up into tabletop and then open and close your legs. And this is not a muscle that's used to being released. So, but it also can affect the lower back. So you're releasing the internal obturator in order to relieve and create space in the hips and the lower back. If your legs start to shake, that's a good thing. There are other places you can put the ball here and do the same move, I suppose. Even you can move your ball up to the, we're not going to do it though, because I have another place I want to go with the balls, but you could move your balls up up higher towards the sacrum or by the sacrum, just so you know. But instead, you're going to take the balls out of the bag and we're going to do butt releases, right and then left. So start on the right, put your ball into the middle of the buttocks, the right buttocks. And the first thing you can do is just nothing, do nothing, compression. Find your spot, and then go ahead and drop your knee out to the right, and then bring it back, and drop it out. And then come back and see if you can make a circle with your ball. So just circling. The ball stays in approximately in the middle of the buttocks. And you're just making a circle. If you find something that's very tense, I wonder how Caitlin is doing with these, given her hamstrings, her hamstring injury. If you find a place that's tight and you want to work on it. If you find a place that's tight and it's too painful to work on, then just go to another neighborhood. And the last thing I want you to do, and there are lots of things you can do here, as you can imagine. The last thing I want you to do is take the ball and roll the ball, let's see, roll your hip to the outside. So you actually, the ball comes with you on, as you roll your hip to the, so drop your hip to the right and your knee, I guess. You can touch the knee, drop it to the right, roll over the ball. So the ball comes with you to the outside, over to the TFL, to the top of the IT band. There's a spot there, maybe Kathy found it. There's a spot there that we hold a lot of tension.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Oh,
try to work there for a while. Just, you can make little circles, you can go up and down, you can go back and forth. And if this is too tight, then find a neighborhood nearby and work there. This is a great place to work. You can see that you could do this maybe while you're watching TV. I recommend it. Never watch TV without your therapy balls or something, some sort of tool nearby. Strap. This is like joy pain here. Go to the other buttocks. We're going to do the same thing. What did we do first? The first thing we did was drop the knee to the left. So just drop your knee out to the left. But the ball is in the middle of the buttocks. Drop the knee and bring it back and drop it. Just back and forth you go. Just breathing, becoming aware of the breath and aware of the movement, which is, this is the practice. The MoveEasy practice is to become aware of breath, become aware of movement. Never stop breathing unless we're doing hypopresses. Come back to center and just try to make a circle with the balls, with the ball, circle around in this, in the glute area, glute medius, glute maximus, glute minimus, so 3 glute muscles. And then go ahead and drop your left knee to the outside and try to roll the ball to the side, all the way to the side of the buttocks. So you may be, by that time, you may be all the way over, side lying even, or almost side lying. You're trying to find this really, the spot that holds a lot of tension at the top of the IT band is called the TFL, tensor fascia latae. I always think of latte, a drink when I think of this. And this is an area that can be very, very tense. So this can be very, very beneficial. If it's too much, go to another spot. And then finish up and come up to standing. Come up to standing with a brick and a set of therapy balls and let's see, no, just one therapy ball. One therapy ball. We're going to do a chest opener at the wall, facing the wall, with a therapy ball and a brick. I love this chest opener. It's actually a good thing to do before you do your back bend at the wall or any back extension, actually. So with a brick, and the thickness of the brick really depends on you. If you have lots of boobage, you may want a thicker brick. If you have less, smaller brick. I don't think you would ever want no brick. I think unless you had alpha balls, which are larger, then maybe you could do this without a brick. But we're starting with the plus balls. The placement of the ball, the first placement is at where the pec minor attaches to the head of the arm bone. So you're going to place the ball there and then put the ball on the wall, on the brick, and press in. So the first thing you want to do is just compressing. This is an area, you ought to be able to find an area that is a little bit tender because because we round forward so much. So it's tender there, find it, and just breathe into it, compression. And then go ahead and bend your knees so that you can roll up and down over the ball in the same area. If this leaves you breathless, don't be surprised. That's what happens to me. I think because I get tight in my chest. I think almost everyone does. And then when you're done about 9 of those, come back to the original start point, and then just make a small side to side movement. It's not very big. It's just like a little dance with the ball and the pec minor muscle, the end of it, the edge of it. And now bring the ball up a little higher so that you're at the farthest edge of your clavicle, the collarbone, the farthest outside edge, and you're going to roll the ball underneath the clavicle all the way to the chest, breastbone, the sternum, the middle, and then all the way back so all along the clavicle. This is an area where we hold a lot of tension, and it doesn't get much attention. Just back and forth. I'm doing it seated because I can't stand up and still be here talking to you. But and you could do this whole series while you're sitting watching TV, actually. Just opening the chest, which helps with back bends. It actually helps with all the functionality of the upper back and the chest. And the respiratory system. Go ahead and stop this, switch sides, find the same spot on the left, and just compress and breathe. And then bend your knees and unbend them so that you can make an up and down movement across this area. It's a very small movement. And then go ahead and make the movement horizontal. Stop bending your knees and just make the movement a little bit horizontal. This is another small movement, just dancing with the pec minor, the edge of the pec minor and the arm bone. And then bring your ball up a little higher so it's to the far outside edge of the collarbone or the clavicle. And then you're going to make a big sweep across underneath the clavicle, all the way to the sternum. And then you're going to come back. I'm doing this seated, actually, with some success, one arm seated. You guys are lucky you came today to get all this TLC with therapy balls. You'll be floating out of here. And finish up and release the brick. Hold on to the ball. We're going to, and turn around so your back is facing the wall, and put the therapy ball in the middle of your scapula. This is for scapular release. And just think about tracing the edge of the scapula. The scapula is a triangular muscle. It's one edge is at the top, across the top, and then the two other meet at the bottom. Sides of the triangle meet at the bottom. You're not going to trace it successfully purely, but it's just a concept. But you're trying to, and if you find a place along the scapula that is a little achy breaky, you could stay there and work on that. And while you're here, before we go to the other side to do the same thing, lift your arm up by your ear and take the ball to the back of your armpit. So you're going to lean into the ball a little bit. So you're going to be almost side lying, and find an area underneath of the armpit. It's actually at the side of the scapula as well. And find that. It could be pretty intense. So, and in fact, if you haven't found something that is a little bit tender, then I don't think you're in the right place. So it's at the armpit, beside the outside edge of the scapula, and then try to work the ball into that area. And just go up and down and side to side, or circle, whatever you find. Did you find it, Kathy? Yep. She's speechless, but she found it.
Right on it.
Yeah. If the audio was on for people, I would be hearing moans and groans, but thank goodness. I think only one moan, Kathy's moan and groan is probably enough. This is a great area to work on. And then go ahead and take your ball to the other side, the middle of the scapula on the other side, left for most people, I think. And just try to make a circle. These are really, this is basically self-massage. The good thing about massage with therapy balls is, first of all, you don't have to pay for it if you have a set of therapy balls. And also you don't have to schedule it. It can be spontaneous. And then also you don't have to tell your massage therapist, oh, go somewhere else. Like, can you go to the outside? You go to the outside. You choose, you move your ball, your scapula, or anything you do. This whole practice is really about massage, self-massage, self-love, self-massage. So circling, and then whenever you're ready, lift your arm, take the ball, move, roll yourself towards the wall, find the spot that's at the back of the armpit and at the outside edge of the scapula. Bingo.
Oh, oh. Oh, geez. It hurts so good.
It hurts so good. Yep. And this should help with your overhead arm movements and actually scapular health. So that's a good thing to be working on. And whenever you're ready, take your ball, your single ball. We're going to do the 6-point release with therapy balls. So you're going to stand near a wall or a chair, something that is a safe point, because this is kind of a balancing thing. Kathy might want to, do you have your Sharpie somewhere, Kathy? Because I remind people of the 6 points. You're going to place your ball statically. No, you're not moving the ball at 6 different points, and then we'll time it. We'll leave you there for 20 seconds. So the first is just underneath the big toe, the pads, yeah. So right there, 1. And then down in the middle of the arch, 2. And below that, just in front of the heel, 3. And then 4 is to the outside of the center, so outside of 2. And then 5 is to the inside of 2, in the center of the arch. And the last one is just below the big toe mound. So that's the 6 points. It's not going to take very long. Let's see, I'm going to time you for 20 seconds at each location. So let's go. Stand up tall. Try not to look down, because that'll round your back. And go ahead and start at point number 1. And just stay here and breathe. Nice. I hope one of the things you're learning in my class is how important the foot is. Go ahead and move to number 2. Just roll down into the middle of the arch. And start breathing. Go to point number 3, which is just in front of the heel, and then your toes are on the floor. Breathing, enjoying. Number 4 is to the back to the center, and then to the outside of the foot. Number 5 is to the center, but to the inside of the foot, the inside edge of the foot in the center of the arch. I think I should do a workshop on just therapy balls, because I'm sitting here thinking, oh, we're not going to be able to do this. We're not going to be able to do that. Okay, the last, let's see, is it the last one? Yes, the last one is just below the big toe mound. Okay. Go to the other side of your foot, the other foot. And the first placement in the middle, near the toe mounds. Number 2 at the middle of the arch, the medial arch, the plantar arch. And what number are we now, Kathy? 4? No, 3. 3, just in front of the heel. The toes are down on the floor now. It's not always, sometimes it's optional which direction your toes are or your heels, whether your heel's on the floor or your toes or the foot is just balancing on the ball. It's kind of up to you. Number 4, the outside edge of the medial, of the center of the medial arch. Number 5, just go across the foot to the inside of the medial arch, the middle of the medial arch. Last one, just underneath the big toe mound. Okay, come on. You might want to walk around and see how you feel after an entire class of therapy ball work, including foot releases. And then when you're done with that, come around, come down to the floor to close the class with Yoga Nidra. Just find a warm, comfortable place. I'm going to go find my Yoga Nidra script. Just find a comfortable place. Your legs can be extended. They can be bent. You can have your knees bent and up on a chair. And just follow me, follow my words with your attention. So starting with the breath, breathing in and breathing out. Observing the abdomen as it rises and falls with the gentle flow of your breath. Now bring your attention and your awareness to the center of your eyebrows, center of your throat, right shoulder, elbow, wrist, right hand, right thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, right wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, left shoulder, elbow, wrist, left thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, left wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, spiritual heart center, right side of your chest, heart center, left side of your chest, heart center, navel center, center of your pelvis, right hip, right knee, ankle, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, right ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, left hip, knee, ankle, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, left ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, navel center, heart center, center of your throat, center of your eyebrows. That completes the 61-point guided Yoga Nidra meditation. Go ahead and extend your legs and start to bring your attention back to the room. Bring your arms overhead and stretch your body in both directions, trying to create a little more space between your pelvis and your rib cage. Stretch, right, left, left, right, stretch and stretch, and then wiggle your fingers and your toes and circle your ankles and your wrists, first in one direction and then the other. Hug your right knee to your chest, and then your left. Hug both knees to your chest and rock from side to side, releasing the lower back, opening the hips. Whenever you're ready, roll all the way over to your side into a fetal position using your bottom arm as a pillow, and press your palm of the top hand into the floor. Bring yourself up to seated without rounding your back. Now unmute yourself. I'm going to take the spotlight off Kathy. I'm going to bring myself into a gallery view. I think I can't do that for you, but I can do that for me. And you may want to do it. It's a nice way to end the class. So here we are. Nice tile set up here. Bring your hands to your heart in a prayer pose. And just press your hands together strongly for a little bit of shoulder work. And then release the hands. Make the prayer pose soft. And lift the skull up away from the shoulders. It's like head ramping, so that you can roll the skull, the entire skull, forward over the top of the cervical spine. C1. Just rolling forward, bowing. Noticing, acknowledging, and honoring the light in each of us. Knowing that we're all one light. We'll close the class by saying to each other, Namaste.
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 Thank you.
And happy
Happy
New
holidays. Happy New Year. Luca came to join me.
New Year.
Year. You have a yoga puppy.
Aw.